The story of John and Whiskey started a little bit earlier than John's first introduction to good whiskey. It came about through another distillery I was involved with called Redlands, and we were located in the Derwent Valley on the Redlands estate. And through circumstances of the owner that had the property, he was required to sell. And that meant we needed to move the distillery, and we started looking for other properties, and Dysart House came up as an opportunity for us. So we started to look at the property, and we were humming and hawing, is this the right place for us or not? In the meantime, we discovered some chap came down from Sydney and bought it. Okay, we missed out, we'll look somewhere else. And while we were looking somewhere else, John had spoken to the agent and asked the question, was there somebody looking at the property that had a use for it? Because John at that stage, I believe, wasn't quite sure exactly what he wanted to do with the property. And so the agent got in touch with us and said, would we be okay giving our contact details to John? And that's when I think you met James, one of our directors.
Yeah, that's when James contacted me, and he flew up to Sydney and we had lunch together. And he started telling me about whiskey, and they wanted to make whiskey there and all this. Simultaneously, I was talking with another couple actually about running a bed and breakfast facility here. I wanted to share Dysart House, and I wanted to live at Dysart House periodically and just have my own sheep, chicken, veggie garden, that sort of stuff. So, but what intrigued me was he was talking about whiskey, and I thought no, that wasn't going to work, because I just didn't think there was any longevity, or how could anyone make whiskey other than the Scottish? So I didn't really give it any thought, other than we met with James and that's it. Then I think about a week later, James said he's coming up with Bill Lark, and I thought, well, Bill Lark. So anyway, I waited. The doorbell rang, and I'll never forget this. And I went to the door, and I opened my front door, and there was this man with a halo around his head, and he was just shining. And look at this man, like it was Santa Claus. And I thought, and I looked at this man, and it was, hello, John, I'm Bill Lark. So I'd read a little bit about whiskey, not much at that point in time. So I invited Bill Lark in, and my wife made some hors d'oeuvres or whatever you call it, and I thought I'd better impress Bill. I've got a man who's attempting to make whiskey in Tasmania. I better sort of give him some really good whiskey. So I bought out a bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, and then
I'm not so sure you impressed me. But
and then I thought I was then, I didn't know. At that point in time, I thought whiskey was made out of potatoes. I knew nothing about whiskey. So bought out the Blue Label, we drank that, and I thought I'll really give him a knockout blow now. And I bought out a bottle of Johnnie Walker St. George.
That's right.
Do you remember that one?
I do.
And that's $1,000 a bottle.
No, you did impress me there.
A little bit. So anyway, we had a great night, and I thought, look, they're lovely people, James Reed and especially Bill Lark. I fell in love with Bill straight away. And then that was over, and they invited me. We did a deal, they'd lease the place out, and they invited me to become a shareholder. And I thought, look, I'll have fun with these guys, I'll take them up on their shareholding. We agreed on the economics of the model, and we let it go. So then I started reading about whiskey. Then I came down and met the boys. I think it was only boys at the time.
Yes.
Yep. So I met my partners and we spoke about whiskey. But then I got intrigued and I started researching all things whiskey. And it was only in about, I think, 3 weeks, I was really captivated with what's happening. Sullivan's Cove won Best Single Malt, the history of Lark. And it was starting to dawn on me there was something serious going on. But I think once I joined Old Kempton Distillery, back then it was Redlands, the directors sent me a bottle of whiskey, and it arrived at 7 a.m. in the morning, a bottle of Redlands whiskey. So I opened the door, grabbed the bottle of whiskey, and I opened it and tasted it. As soon as I tasted it, I thought, my God, I've been giving Bill Lark tea. What have I been doing? It was just the taste of that. That's Old Kempton whiskey. Just the taste and the first sip. of that whiskey just absolutely blew my mind. So now I was fixated on getting my wife to try it. So I'm chasing her around for about 30 minutes, telling her, you've got to try this whiskey. And my wife hates whiskey. And she kept saying, no, no. And I said, please, once just taste it, and if that's it. So anyway, she tasted it. My wife's got a lovely nose, so she knows that, because I think she knows that out of fear first. So she crossed the nose barrier, and then she tasted it and absolutely loved it. And I thought, my Lord, if my wife loves it, there's something going on here. And that's basically how my whiskey journey started.